A bit about my background. Well, I'm an Irish philosopher by training. I don't know that philosophy gives you much of an experience in IT and NREN matters, but I have been in Uganda since 1992 and worked previously at 2 different universities before I turned to what is now my passion, which is fully embracing IT to enhance the higher education experience. So together with Professor Michel Lejeune, we co-founded the Virtual University of Uganda in 2011, and we've been operating since January 2012, training postgraduates in various fields. It's especially good for them because they don't have to leave work in order to study. They can be online at 2 p.m, 4 a.m, whatever time they want. So that's a little bit about what I've been doing over the last years. How would I describe an NREN? Well, I suppose as opposed to the commodity internet, the NREN is an enabler that brings universities together for R&D purposes, research and education purposes, as a highly specialized networking because of the very nature of academic life and research, that we are probably the internet's most difficult customers, I suppose, wanting to have information all the time at our fingertips. So yeah, a national research and education network, no country can be without one. Aha! Well, the NRENs are changing the face of higher education in that they are enabling universities to do their work properly, number one. They cannot change the face of higher education alone, though. This is my argument, that in the old days, mostly when we talked about networking, when we talked about internet provision, it was the ICT director in an institution who gave the budget, gave the go-ahead to buy the services and so on. And I think that's now changing, that systems engineers, mail server people and so on are beginning to, gradually get sidestepped with the whole democratization of IT and the knowledge process itself. And I suppose I would say they're helping to change the face of higher education in collaboration with academic staff, not only IT managers, but that we've got to learn how to engage our academic staff to work with the REN and give them ideas as to what they need, so that the REN actually responds to the needs of universities and individual researchers. The other benefits of collaborating with an NREN, well, I suppose, it is shared connectivity, that, for example, a lecturer in Makerere, I've mentioned this many times, doesn't have to give the same lecture in Makerere and then the same lecture in VUU and the same lecture in MUBS. The lecturer in Makerere can be use video conferencing set up by the NREN, so that the people in different campuses and regionally, for example, a university in Dar es Salaam, could easily be networked so that they can listen to this lecture given in Makerere. So I believe that we're only starting to see how RENs are helping academic staff and lecturers and professors and researchers to build different ways of collaborating together. I think that's the answer I would have for that. Wow, that's a biggie. Why does higher education need to be supported by ICT? Okay, number one, in the old days, people didn't need any support except for books in a library. So for example, when I was a young student, many, many moons ago, I relied on my library for information. And what wasn't in my library could be got through interlibrary loans. So different libraries in the world had a pooling system where they would send you information. But the information that we have at our fingertips today has changed the whole scene, has changed the whole academic scene, I think. If I was only relying on 10 books, my life would be a lot easier. But when I use Google Scholar to find information on a certain subject, for example, I am inundated with hits for my search terms. So it's hard sometimes to know what to filter out. So you have to be very good at filtering out the dross and leaving the good information. But I think ICTs are at the heart of the modern or contemporary education delivery service and program. Why? Because without them, we have no means of being able to access this vast body of knowledge. And I think one of the important points I generally make about this is that ICTs are changing the face of higher education in many ways, because we no longer have to rely on the books in the library. I can take the mobile phone out of my pocket and I have the whole of Encyclopedia Britannica on my phone. So in a sense, we are changing how we learn and even what we learn, because who wants to learn facts today when you can Google it? Really? You don't need to know any facts because you can have it on your